Usually these are candid, so as candid as they're going to be. Tentative Drunkman, episode 2. Um, exactly what's happening. So, initially coming home from work today, the biggest goal was making sure that I would eat at home, um, eat vegetables, put in laundry, and do that. Now, in doing so, I was able to focus on that, and that was nice. Now, the entire time while that was happening, I also was unfortunately thinking about drinking, which really didn't help. And um, as the night went on, I eventually completed all of those goals. Nice. Except for folding the laundry. It's still sitting over there. We'll consider doing that at some point. However, the big thing that I'm talking about is this premise initially that I told myself. Eventually, when I did the stuff, ate my food, everything else, I went out, did some errands for my mother, and I did end up purchasing some alcohol as well. Now, my mindset at the time was if I purchase enough alcohol, then I won't have to come out again. I think that's a obvious falsehood. The problem being, I forget what happens when I become drunk. I pretend that drunk me doesn't exist, which is really disappointing. It's a lie, and also it's very incongruous when I consider all of the things that I've done in terms of my drinking throughout my life. Um, and there is a very distinct difference between prior drinking me and then post having been drinking me. And, once I've had several beers in me, the brain doesn't fucking work the same. And to say or pretend that it will or would is also a lie. And so, I think I have to be even more presumptuous and knowledgeable of the potential pitfalls that I have that I might set myself up towards. That sucks, you know? There's a part of me inside of my ego that doesn't ever want to say that, oh yeah, you know, you'll just, even if you're drunk, you'll just be able to get over it. And I think one of the biggest issues is that there's this genuine part of my ego that thinks that I can. I think I can. I think I'm better, above, bigger than the alcoholism that I'm subjecting myself to on a daily basis. And does that make any sense? To reflect on that, it doesn't make any sense at all. You know? I'm at the very whim of my alcoholism. I am but flowing in the wind and out of control, truthfully, for a lot of it. So to have this idea that I have so much control is just very obviously incongruous. And I hope that anybody that is dealing with those thoughts, that you can understand that, yeah, you're gonna feel mixed up, very mixed up. I feel mixed up all the time lately, but I also know that those feelings of being mixed up means that I recognize that things are wrong, or that something is not some part of me is doing something that isn't beneficial and is really um, putting myself down a path that, while I feel is perhaps, like, internally, I might internalize this feeling that this path that I'm going down is very rigid and very necessary. And the truth is the opposite, you know? And I really hope that I can convince anybody that's here, You know, if you feel like there is this certain rigidity in your life that you feel like you have to be going in a certain direction and there's nothing you can do about it, I would say to you that you are very adept and very smart and very willing to create this idea of this circumstance for yourself. But I would also say that you can change parts of it or you can change it in its entirety. And as weird as and incongruous as that feels, that's because it's so outside of what you've built into your idea of what your reality is. And I'm here to take you out of your reality every single time that I can. Because I have to take myself out of my reality a lot too. Because if I were to sit there and look into my situation and dwell in it, then where would I be? So I will continue to try to transcend. And as nice as that was, the entire point of this video was actually to talk about exactly how I'm feeling right now. And I think instead of addressing that, I went on this long diatribe. That's the reality. I'd rather talk about anything else than how I'm truly feeling. I know, that sucks. But what I'm really feeling is I want to go for another drink. Being completely honest, I even know that I'm drunk. I know that in its entirety. I also know that I don't even think having another beer would really make me feel better at all. It would just make me think less about drinking, which is what's on my mind. It's a very weird thing. I don't know how would I describe it? It's like you're a huge fan of drawing ponies. Let's say you really like drawing ponies. And every time you go to draw a pony, there's this image of a pony that kind of ends up in your mind. And it's to the point where no matter how much you want to be able to draw a pony, you end up drawing the same pony. You can't draw it galloping like how you'd like to. You can't draw its other movements. You're stuck in this rut where you can only draw the same pony. That's this feeling that I have with my alcoholism. That's what it's like to be an alcoholic. I understand that I would like to not be drunk. I understand that there are so many benefits to not drinking, that when I don't drink, I do other things, etc., etc. Except my brain can't draw the sobriety. And it can't handle it either, to be honest. When I'm sober, I'm uncomfortable. And that's a very big truth. And that's part of the process as well. I have to accept that my own sobriety scares me to I have to accept that my own sobriety scares me. But there's some alternative truths to that. If a lot of what I've done I've had to do out of fear or reactivity, then I can react to myself and my own needs. I'm liable to go out for another beer. But what can I do to ensure the best outcome of tonight? If I'm gonna drink, I can choose a beer that's less alcoholic. I can refill my glass of water, and I can make sure that I make tea. And I can have a salad, because I have a salad to eat. So I have lots of things that I can do, even though I might do something that is against my grain. Right now, I can choose to make sure that I don't go so far against myself that I lose myself. And I can choose to create a platform that which I can at least sit on and say, I am here. Because I need to be here. I need to be at a place. I need to not say that I am simply falling anymore. I need to say that I am here and I can move from here. That's the realest shit. Yes, we're going to feel like we fall. But it's us to it's literally only up to us to say where the ground is. Choose the ground. Choose the ground, absolutely. Fucking plant yourself. And rise. We'll see what happens. We'll see what the future holds. I love y'all. Keep it real.